What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hot Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and we are staying with the Olympics today because we are going to be talking about the film Blades of Glory. Yes, that movie starring Will Ferrell as an improbable figure skater, John Heder as well, hot off of the Napoleon Dynamite fame back when he was actually somebody still. But go ahead, like, subscribe, share, follow anywhere you get the podcasts, social media. We're all over there. You can find us on nerdinitiative.com doing comic book reviews. We're doing a lot of really great things. Press junkets are coming through. It's really exciting times to be a nerd and a fan of all of this right now. And if this is your first time here, we go what we've been drinking. Today we shout out a brewery of the week. We go into what we're reading or watching, some little bit of news, and then we go into our main topic. So I will pull it all out here. I'm drinking Not You Too by The Veil, which has some cryptic Instagram posts today. Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. Gravestones, all that kind of stuff on their Instagram. Maybe it's a 10-year anniversary thing. I don't know, but I figured this was a good one because Chaz Michaels and old dude are not very friendly in this. So that's what I got. What's up?
I don't have anything too exciting. I have a non-alcoholic Bureau Edge Hill Hazy IPA from Tom Holland. So I have it in my Spider-Man beer. Spider-Man. Because this week I learned that you can need a root canal even if you don't have a cavity. So I'm on antibiotics. Who knew?
Man, George Washington and her wooden teeth over there.
No, I still have my tooth. No cap. And that doesn't mean I'm not lying.
No
I don't
cap,
really understand
that's
what
right.
it means. But yep. So yeah, who knew?
You didn't get
I
that
didn't
earlier.
know.
I'm glad that you learned no cap.
Because I am too old. I don't need wooden teeth yet, but I always have perfect teeth. Apparently,
yeah, I never have cavities
have
either. So it's like, oh man, sweet.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
I'm like, but there's not a cavity. He's like, no. I'm like,
well, at least you didn't take an ice skate to your tooth to take it out.
That's true. Oh my
Passed
gosh.
away.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
with
man.
Wilson.
Yes. So,
and then what is his dentist is Spalding, or she marries a
something
dentist
like
and
that.
his name is Spalding.
I can't remember, but no, going into what we've been reading or watching this week, it's kind of nice as we've been beefing up the bullpen and things like that. I have been able to kind of take a step back and not review as many comic books, which is, it's nice, but it's not, because I love reading them, but I love getting to read them and I love seeing everybody else's reviews. However, I'm still doing some things. So me and Sean did 1776 issue number 4. That one's still taking place in the colonial times, of course, which is two of my favorite things, history and superheroes. And some things are getting pretty dire for Peter, for Bruce Banner. And I just really love the interactions, and the imagery of Captain America in colonial garb really stands out to me. Megan and I did Daredevil Punisher. Jimmy Palmiotti is the one writing that. And this is less punch, kick, punch, and more of Daredevil and Frank sitting at a table, having a glass of water, discussing some stuff. But nonetheless, there does get a billy club in somebody's eyeball, and Frank does brutally stab somebody. So it does get a little
Everybody's
bloody.
Damage to the eye ever since you had
always
your
the
eye.
Man. It's always the eye. I'm just like, why? Maybe it's one of those things that you just never noticed until
like even in the pit. Was the one girl like glued her eyeball?
Yeah, she had super glue on her eyelashes. Oh my god! And then the one nun had gonorrhea in the eyes.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Not but amazing, but
sort of eye trauma. I was like, what are we doing, man? Why is it always the eyes? Yeah, I'm still like 75% blind in my left eye, so that's always fun. Speaking of blind, Batman gets a little blinded because Poison Ivy has taken over one of the buildings. And the final page of Absolute Batman 17, I'm kind of surprised not more people are talking about it. It has the return of a pretty dope villain, and I'm not going to spoil that.
Read it yet.
Well, I just said I'm not going to spoil it.
On my to-do list to stop at my comic shop tomorrow.
Really good shout. Epic Comics again. But I read the Florida hippopotamus cocaine massacre. Now, if you want a cocaine trip,
I should have reviewed that one as a Florida woman.
It's about a drug dealer.
Stole my thunder.
It's kind of wild. You can review it's going to be like a 3-issue thing. It's fun, man. Now there's like this overweight drug lord that was in his little wheelie scooter, and a cop raid gone wrong, and the whole thing's tongue in cheek, and then he dumps all his cocaine into the hippos area. So that's where we leave off, because the hippos.
Did you watch on HBO Max? They have the thing like Animals on Drugs or whatever. And they talk about the hippopotamuses in South America that like Pablo Escobar like brought over hippopotamuses for his own like fun.
Hippopotamus for Christmas.
And apparently, yes, and he got one. And apparently, I guess the urban legend is that he would give them cocaine and they would be extra aggressive and whatnot. But urban legend or not, these hippos are invasive down there, and like they're
Really?
not safe animals. It was really
They're
interesting.
very dangerous. They're very fast. Yeah,
And it's
they
like
are
how,
murdery.
and you think one person can't make a difference. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
many situations have shown us that not to be the case. And
I know Helen of
Troy is
Troy.
one of them.
Well, yes, two very different things. But,
Helen of Troy.
what have you read before I talk about kind of what I've gotten? Well, I can't really say much. I got to see Monarch season 2 for Godzilla fans, and this is Monday when you're listening. I can't talk about it till tomorrow, technically. So stay tuned for nerdnation.
I can talk about 56 Days is finally out. So 56 Days is an 8-episode series on Prime. I did a non-spoiler review the day before it came out, and then I did a spoiler-filled review the day after. So if you haven't seen it, you can check out. You got options. So it's basically it's based on a book. I have not read the book though, so I went into this completely blind. It has Dove Cameron and some guy that I did not know, but he killed it. They both killed it. And it is like a murder mystery. So the first episode starts off with like a really broken down, nasty body in a bathtub. And it immediately made me think of like Breaking Bad. You don't even know. Yeah, you don't even know the sex of the person. It's so decomposed. You have no idea. And so then it all of a sudden goes to 56 days before. So the 56 days is the time between this couple met, and then 56 days is when the cops find the body. And so the whole time you're like, okay, well, did one of them kill each other? Did somebody else kill them? Like, who's in the bathtub? And there's a lot more mystery. And every time I thought I had it figured out, something else happened, or another layer of like, gotcha was kind of thrown in. So I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it way more than I expected. And like Dove Cameron is obviously Mal from Descendants. And I
was about to say it's probably Ben, and they've gone bad now, like
no, because
her
this
good
guy
girl
can
streak
actually
didn't last long.
Unlike Ben, who cannot act. Oof. But I have a daughter who's obsessed with Descendants, has been cast as Mal in her school play. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to not see Mal, but the sex scenes proved me wrong. So remember how last week I was saying with Heated Rivalry, it's one of those shows you can't watch in the living room because a kid could walk in. This is the exact same thing, because they will go from 0 to sex immediately. So
gross. How dare Disney kids, man, they've gone crazy.
Great scenes, man. I'm telling you, great scenes. So I really like
parents things that Lauren's still looking for, but could be.
And they wrapped up, man. Every T crossed, every every I dotted.
Okay.
They did. And then I only did one comic review, because much like you, we have like a new team, and they're kind of taking some of the Wolverine comics and everything.
It allows us to do more like I like to get to watch TV shows and movies. So it's one of those like, it stinks, but I love seeing them so passionate. But also I love that now we can focus more on streaming side of things, because it's kind of really opening the doors for stuff, because we got a certain little email today that we got invited to the boys press junket. We could talk about.
Can we talk about it? I'm like, but
we haven't seen anything. There's that's true. Oh God, now that I jinxed it, we got uninvited. I'm sure.
Cut it.
But yeah. Anyways, what did you review?
I reviewed Generation X-23. This is really good. This is Laura Kinney and her sister Gabby, but they're setting it up for like something else. And so it was actually a really funny issue. It was action-packed, but also really funny, but really cool. So there's like this superhero that like slides time kind of. So then they showed these panels that it was like you could only pull off in comic books, where you're like seeing shards of the future and the past with like one person. Cool. So one person's like laying there, and their arm is a skeleton, and then their head is a baby, and like their middle is
the baby's here.
I don't know. I really liked it. It was good. I like what they're doing with Laura Kinney these days. This one's not Erica Schultz. This is Jodie Hauser.
I love she's going to be at MegaCon as well, actually.
Oh, is she? Oh, nice.
Yeah. MegaCon is stacked this year, dude. And you're going to be dressed as Laura Kinney, and I'm
old woman Laura Kinney. I feel like that needs to be emphasized.
And I'm going to be, divorced, middle-aged, overweight Matt Murdock. So look at that. We're all good. We're going to be great.
We live with realistic expectations. You're not Charlie Cox. I'm old enough to be Daphne Keene's mom. So
that's very true. Yes. We're just here to have fun. MegaCon, even though we don't know anything about the panels yet. I'm still really excited, because the comic book side of things is wicked stacked.
It's looking really, really
Jackson's going to be there. Like some of our friends that we know are going to be there, which is kind of crazy. Kenny Porter and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of friends of the show for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So
we'll have to put together some sort of end. We got to talk to Scott. We need to put together some sort of end of the con kind of thing. like
We
we did with
do, we
Fat
do,
that
we
winter.
do.
Maybe that'll be
They're
Rock Pit.
expecting you to come and talk to them at Rock Pit, so don't make me look bad. Don't make
I'll
me
be like,
look bad.
"That who?
I
What's Hot
called
Geek
them up
Ninja?"
on Threads and said you were coming after they said, "Let's do it."
I don't
So,
know what
gosh
you're
darn it.
talking about.
All right. Well, did you watch the Mando and Grogu trailer? Because I did.
I did.
Oh,
It is,
what'd you think? Zeb,
it's so
first and foremost.
Zeb looks phenomenal. I mean, he looked phenomenal at the end of Mando or whenever it was we saw him in
Yeah.
Mando. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was super cheesy. I
Oh,
very
yeah,
much
me
so
too.
enjoyed how much we saw Pedro Pascal because I feel like now we know that's more light. It's not gonna be him in the thing the whole time, but I like knowing that it's him.
Well, it's nice because, you know, of course, everybody's going to be complaining, oh my God, now it's every scene with his helmet off, the classics, you know, but he's always
But
had
he
the
doesn't
helmet on and
care
it's,
anymore. He broke that. Like,
he did. Yeah. And I'm okay. Like, if I'm okay with him having his helmet off more because that's just par for the course of what bounty hunters are in Star Wars. Put it on while he's fighting, sure. But like, also, Pedro can act, so add some levity to some of the scenes that you need. But it felt very campy, and that's what Star Wars is. And I loved the intro of the X-wings in front of the sun. Like some of those shots are just very
when he has the
beautiful.
Razor Crest.
Yeah, it's got yellow on it this time, man. You probably didn't notice because his, you know, arm was painted yellow, but yeah, no, it's got the yellow Razor Crest. It had some pretty good shots. I really enjoyed that. The soundtrack, or it was a very Star Warsy trailer music without being, you know, outright Star Wars. You know, don't copyright us out there, Disney. But
I wonder
yeah,
who else we'll see in it. Like, I wonder if like Bo-Katan will show up. We'll see Ahsoka.
they're
If we
talking
see
about
Luke.
preventing a war, which in the timeline we know that doesn't work because the First Order, unless
Right.
that's just a
But
blip.
I
I don't
think they're
know.
gonna try to fix the sequels like they've done in the past with like Revenge of the Sith. I feel like they fixed that with
Like,
Clone Wars.
what if? I mean, I'd be okay if they did. Like,
So
what if the First Order stuff was just a blip on the radar and there's bigger things going on out there? I don't know, man. Who knows?
or maybe you see more of like what I mean, because the books tackle some of that too, like with Aftermath and whatnot. But if you see more of like how it led to that, and yeah, just fix the plot holes, like somehow.
Yeah. I mean, just pretend the Rise of Skywalker never happened, and we're all right.
Well, and do you think it will lead into the next season of Ahsoka? Because
Oh yeah,
Ahsoka
that's a good
and
point. That should be coming
Sabine
soon,
are just
shouldn't
like
it?
chilling out there. Thrawn's on his way back, and they were worried if Thrawn came back,
Oh,
that
that's
would
right.
help
That's a
stir
really good
things
point.
up.
Yeah, you know, they are just kind of out there chilling, like, hey, we don't need you yet. You're not in the script, so Thrawn's just held up in hyperspace traffic. I don't know. He's checking
Maybe
his
Ezra
watch. He
will
said,
show up at the end to get
dang
Mando to
it.
go to Ahsoka. I don't
The
know.
GPS said I should have been here already. Darn. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point because I forgot that they were all taking place around the same time, and we should be getting Ahsoka season 2. Like, weren't they filming that, or they were starting to, or
I think so,
I don't.
yeah.
Maybe I
I
don't
mean, we
remember.
saw pictures of the Hound.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, see, I wish Star Wars would come a little faster. Like, I'm not getting any younger, man. Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
but
I'm getting old out
let's
here.
let them do it properly.
My eyesight is fleeting. I have to see the stuff.
Well, I still have eyesight.
Please, first it's the left eye. Who knows what's next? I'm very
Trying to
dire
do
here,
Make a
sir.
Wish for Matt to see
Please,
Mandalorian and
Daredevil Born
Grogu.
Again season 2, actually, instead. But yeah, no,
That's
we'll
fair.
see how it goes. But let's go into a movie that I kind of wish I didn't have to rewatch again because upon rewatch, I just didn't
Really?
enjoy so
Josh was
much.
excited. Really?
And yeah, I don't know. So going in, talking Blades of Glory, the 2007. So we're a year ahead of the 20th. That's okay. We're close enough.
Yeah.
That means we just don't have to do it next year. But it is capturing the Olympic theme that, and especially tonight when we're recording this on Thursday, the first women's Olympic gold medal in figure skating was won tonight since 2002 for the Americans, which is a really big deal. And so I forget her name. I am so sorry, but she's a big deal right now. She retired at 16 after the last Olympics. She retired.
I only know older ones. I only know the ones that were mentioned in this movie.
I forget her name, but she retired at 16, came back, said she's doing it her way. She's not going to be starved. Her dad actually left China. You know, he was a refugee from China when he was a part of like the Tiananmen Square protest and massacre. So he left, and basically, I guess he has like 3 or 4 daughters that were all egg donors, and so they don't have a mom or anything. He became a lawyer. He's like a multimillionaire now, and actually in the last Olympics, because they wanted her to compete for China, they sent spies to like harass her and her dad, and the
This
Americans
is
had to
real?
it's
Holy
real. Oh yeah.
crap.
China wanted them
When is
because
they gonna make this into a
Chinese
movie?
yeah, so yeah, Americans, they had security on her, like protecting her. She was harassed. Her dad was harassed because they really wanted her to compete for China. And then this year she comes out and she's made a big deal. She's out there winning gold, and for the first time for the figure skating women's since 2002. And it's a really crazy story because just all of that. But leading us into the Blades of Glory topic, it was a $61 million budget on $145 million. And it's two rival Olympic skaters who have been permanently banned from the men's singles competition due to a feud exploit a loophole that will allow them to qualify as a pairs team. This is directed by Josh Gordon and Will Speck, written by Craig Cox, Jeff Cox, and Busy Phillips, starring Will Ferrell, John Heder, Amy Poehler, Jenna Fisher, Will Arnett, Craig T. Nelson, and more. Yeah, this was a young Amy Poehler who, Amy Poehler, I forgot, like she was good looking. Or maybe it's just this movie. I don't know.
I feel like she still looks kind of the same.
Well, yeah, she was like a snack in this movie. I said, Amy, I was unfamiliar with your game, girl. And Will Arnett was very young looking as well. The two of them were married. I think they got divorced.
Yeah, they're divorced.
I know
Logan had on Lego Batman right before we put this on. I'm like, oh, it's still Lego Batman.
It is indeed. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and take us up as we work through the recap and the plot of this interesting film dealing with unlike Batman, he does not get adopted and become Batman. He becomes a very famous Olympic figure skater.
So we open up to the same song Will Ferrell sings in Step Brothers.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad you put that down. Yes.
That was my first thought.
Yes. I noticed that immediately upon this watch too.
You must really like that song. So there are nuns and kids ice skating on a pond. It's an orphanage. We see a very blonde little boy destined for greatness as a figure skater. Meanwhile, some random billionaire stares creepily and says, I'll take him. We cut to him as a grown-up spinning on the ice. He's peacocking it on the ice and nailing every move. We learn this is Jimmy, and Jimmy's adopted father collects athletic orphans.
Oh, God. That is such... It's so okay. Parts of this really didn't age well, but this is hilarious. He's in the fur coat and he's, oh God, oh man, yes, he does his routine, and the dad, he's just he's a famous actor, but at the same time, he's talking crap. He said that, let's hope that 5.8 doesn't come back to bite us, and he's just so like, oh my God. And it's tongue in cheek because parents are really like this to their athletic kids.
Which is so crazy.
It is
that people can be like that. Like, really?
It is, yeah. But yeah, sorry. Continue by all means. Tell us about Chaz Michaels and his sex show.
Oh, what did I just do?
I don't think Will Ferrell is a sex symbol, nor has he ever been. But while you pull that back up, he's actually got a cowboy hat on. He steps onto the ice. He's nailing his triple axel. He's humping the air. He's sex on ice as he licks some lady's face from the audience without consent, first and foremost.
I think she gave plenty of consent.
I think she did too. He then threatens Jimmy, nails his finisher, and as the girls gather, they'll get the flowers. They grab some bras. We're learning that he had a bit of a dark childhood. He was in an underground skating thing. But he does have a softer side to him, including a poem book called Let Me Put My Poems in You. Yes.
The softer side of Chaz Michaels. So I figured out what was wrong with my iPad. It was on low power mode, so it kept going to sleep every 30 seconds. It is now off. So the scores are in. They are tied. So Peacock versus Sex Icon, and they are tied. On top of the podium, they both collect their gold medals. And there's blood, fire, and stunned silence as they fight.
Yeah, they're like shoving each other back and forth, and then he falls down, and trips, and yeah, it felt so silly. But it is pretty funny because we got gold, and guys go, we tied. We might as well got half a gold medal and all that kind of stuff. Or
the adopted father is like, you got me half a gold medal.
Yeah.
Would they do that in the real Olympics? Does that happen? I don't.
It's happened before, actually. There's been athletes to where they they would have gone to like a compete off, right? But instead, they've gone and split the gold medals. I think it was between two athletes who trained together. It was during the Summer Olympics. They asked, it was, I think the one guy was Italian or something, was pole vaulting maybe, and or high jump maybe. And they asked and they go, yeah, I guess you can. And so they both split the gold medal.
Nice. All right. Well, there you have it.
It was a
So
big
then we
moment.
see Mr. Feeney. So the boys are in front of a committee because of their fight. They basically have to argue their case, or basically they're given their punishment more so. No luck. They lose their medals and they're banned from men's figure skating. Jimmy's dad unadopts him and leaves him on the side of the road as he storms off.
They've had a good 22 years. So, you know.
And what does the license plate say? Like get gold or something?
Yeah,
or?
It was ridiculous. I can't kind of say I'm unadopting. And then he's like, it doesn't matter. It's about the same thing.
He's chugging liquor.
Yeah.
And those scenes, I'm always like, it's apple juice. It's apple juice. It's not that gross. I'm like, ugh.
You know, Jimmy's like, we've been for 26 years, 22, and we have a really great run and all that. And it's just so messed up. He leaves him on the side of the road. You're just like, oh my God.
At least he gave him his bags.
It's true.
So then we cut to 3.5 years later. It's Grublets on ice, and Chaz Michael Miles is the drunk evil wizard who pukes inside his mask. Meanwhile, Jimmy McElroy sells ice skates and still has his stalker around. Although his stalker's now
it was Nick Schwartzen,
yes,
or whatever.
The guy with the really sweet bed.
Yes.
What does he have a sweet bed in? Grandma's?
It's Grandma's boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you sleep in a car bed. Yeah, it's a really sweet car, something like that. Oh man, I haven't watched that movie forever. I didn't realize this was almost 20 years old. That's crazy.
I forgot it was too. This came out before Step Brothers, even, actually. Fun fact, because Step Brothers is 2008. Yeah. So this was kind of the height of Will Ferrell at this point.
I didn't know Step Brothers 2008. I remember seeing the big sign for Step Brothers, like we were going to see some movie, just seeing the two of them doing a movie and posing. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be good.
It was. I saw that in theaters, but you know, what's funny about the crazy stalker guy too, when he suggests here the couple skating, he's like, you know, it's getting really weird if I'm stalking a has-been. I need you to go out and skate again.
That's fair.
Yeah, it is fair.
Well, and I think one of the things that I thought was funny rewatching this was some of the things that Josh and I will say from this that like I forgot were from this, and that was one of them. Like, I want to wear your skin or whatever. Like, I feel like Josh said that.
They're like the provocative. I always say that, and it is from because they're dancing to Fergie. You know, my lady lumps.
That was going around with the 6'7". Like, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's provocative.
Oh God, no. But to make it in a couple skating, his former coach tells him he's got to find a partner ASAP, and it's impossible to do so. So he sees them on the news because Jimmy goes to the place where Chaz was doing. He was looking for some figure skaters. They run into each other. They start to fight. The fight was glorious because there are funny moments to this. Okay. For me, overall, I don't enjoy this movie, but it was funny when they're throwing each other and he's holding, you know, Jimmy in the air and he's twirling, and then Chaz gets tossed and he's just, so it was like a funny scene. There are funny moments. Yeah, you know, the coach ends up bailing them out, and then he makes the suggestion for couple skating to when the coach asks if they want to make history, and then that's when the Forgotten Rivals then team up. We do learn about the sibling duo who is Amy Poehler, and they've cheated. Gasp! They've made Jenna Fisher, their sister, film other skaters, and every time she tries to get out of it, they blame and try to guilt trip her because the parents died while picking her up from skate lessons.
What? Oh my gosh. And they'd already won a couple gold medals. I guess we kind of skipped them. We got so excited. I got so excited about Mr. Feeney, I skipped that. But yeah,
yes. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So to make it into couple skating, his former coach tells him I'm doing really bad tonight. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic. This is what happens when I'm sober, guys. Oof. Okay, so the boys are now living together, and we learn that Chaz uses horse shampoo, which is actually real. That's a real brand that he's using. And a hairbrush made of illegal whalebone. I really hope that's not real. Now the training begins. Jimmy is the, quote, girl, and Shaz is now on a diet. As they discuss songs, Shaz wants Lovely Lady Lumps. Check it out. And then, yes, Jimmy's like, what does it mean? What are lady lumps? Which I thought it was pretty obvious what lady lumps are. I think everybody knows what lady lumps are. But then Chaz Michael Miles says nobody knows, but it's provocative. It gets the people going.
Well, they're both very dumb.
Okay. So. All right. That's fair. And then we get the dance lesson montage. They got the moves down, but they still have a lot of attitude.
They do. Because it's championship time in Denver. You know, they're going for their chance to go to Montreal. They are fire and ice. And I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. Chaz throws Jimmy and first off to not to a good start because there is a crash. However, Chaz is now determined and they're ready to go side by side, double axles, balls in the face. even. Then they're killing it. They're going to Montreal because they ended up in podium, all that stuff. They did what they needed to do, and straight up to the ass of straight up the ass.
And straight up the ass of the competition. Yes. That's where they're going.
Coach knows for them to win the gold, they
I
have
don't know
to
why I held my fist up like that. That was inappropriate. But yeah, he like throws him into the wall, or on accident though.
Yeah,
and then
he threw him.
It was almost like an Aladdin moment though, when he put his hand out to like help him up. It was like, "Do you trust me?"
And then show you the world.
But then, he did a Jasmine and he's like, you know what? Suddenly, for some reason, I do trust you.
Just his balls in his face.
Balls. Okay, so Chaz then shows off his tattoos the next morning in the kitchen, claiming he slept with some real famous skaters, who I am curious how they feel about that scene. I think one of them was Oksana Bayul. Who's the other?
These people, but
Michelle Kwan.
Oh, I know Michelle Kwan. Okay.
You don't remember Oksana Bayul? She was like the Ukrainian. She was like a teenager and was like winning medals. And then Michelle Kwan, here's a fun fact.
Y'all are basically teenagers when they start winning medals. I don't know.
We discussed this on our Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas when they start and Minnie and Daisy are dancing? No? The cartoon?
Dude, I don't remember this figure skater. Just move on. You're not going to make me remember.
What? It's our own little hometown darling. Really? And she's like, touch toes, ladies. And you have the alligators and the hippos dancing. Anyways, the artists for that brilliantly done Christmas masterpiece had Michelle Kwan come in and they mimicked her ice skating.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And actually, I think we have a Michelle Kwan fun fact in here too.
Oh.
So he continues to show off his tattoos. And then Jimmy says he's got a crush on the enemy, which is Katie. So Shaz calls basically her for him. And it's a very awkward situation. And they are saying very dirty things back and forth, but it is at the insistence of her siblings and the assistance of Chaz. And then they end up on a snow cone date at 8 p.m. Who goes and gets snow cones when it's snowing outside?
Plenty of people. I don't know. Maybe.
Then they trauma bond and kiss very, very.
Oh, God, that was painful to watch.
Especially considering it was Jenna Fisher. I expect that from John Heder, but not Jenna Fisher.
It was very uncomfortable to watch. However, we're back to training. Coach tells him that he used to coach pairs and he had a move that would guarantee the win. He had to go to North Korea to do it, though. It's the Iron Lotus, but it ended in decapitation every single time. The coach thinks it'll work as two men, and they begin as Chaz chops off the heads of a lot of mannequins, actually.
How would that, I get this is an unrealistic movie, but like the head comes clean off. It's not like they split an artery or something. It was like, how thick or long was that ice skate that it just...
It's those stacked quads they got. I don't know. You saw him sitting there. Now, at the press conference, the boys are on fire. So the evil sibling duo wants Katie to sleep with Chaz and tear them apart. And they threaten to basically Tanya Harding Jimmy if she doesn't. From the knee but up above the ankle.
They say Tanya Harding.
They don't.
Nancy Kerrigan's in this.
They do say, it'd be a shame if something happened to him, basically from the knee down above the ankle kind of deal. Yeah. They very highly
knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah. And then this takes us to the sex addicts meeting where we see condoms, prayers. Luke Wilson is the therapist. That's when Katie shows up. And outside the meeting, everybody is going at it. Luke Wilson pulls up and says, hey, break it up. And Katie tries to seduce Chaz, to which Chaz is like, I'm staying strong. I can't do this. He does put his hands on her breasts, but he says, I'm not going to do this. But that's when Jimmy walks in, unfortunately. Drama.
Jimmy does know. Jimmy is not Scotty. So the weird siblings are concerned that this won't be enough to break up this unstoppable first only men duo. So the creepy brother kidnaps Shaz while the sister grabs Jimmy and handcuffs him in a bathroom and tells him that Katie couldn't even sleep with Chaz. She can't do anything right. Shaz then escapes, but appears to have drowned. But of course, this is all just a ruse. He didn't really drown. He makes it out of the lake. After a very anti-climax, why were they still doing a chase once they were inside the building? You think he would have stopped trying to get him inside the building?
You would think so, yeah.
Crossbow. Okay, so then Jimmy licks toilet paper to get the key that she had dropped in the into the garbage can. Yes, it's very disgusting. And keep in mind too, at the beginning, he's like big on the hand sanitizer, so he's a little bit of a germaphobe.
Yeah.
But of course, it's all coming together. Shaz shows up in the nick of time, and he looks frozen, half dead, kind of like Johnny at the end of The Shining.
I didn't have sex with Katie.
He's like, I know. And then he glides down on his jockstrap down towards
Which
the
he
ice.
rips from his clothes
He rips from where jockstrap.
And then he throws it at the one figure skater who's very excited.
It.
Gross.
And then I can't think of anybody who's jockstrap I would want to sniff. Not even Jensen Ackles. No offense.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I guess I have a line. Oh, that's disgusting. Okay. Then flips into performance mode pretty quick. He does a little head down and up, and voila, he's a magician. Yeah. And he says, let's kick some ice and capture the dream. And he's like, where did you think of that? And behind them it says, capture the dream. And then they dance to Flash Gordon. And these guys, according to Scott Hamilton, these guys put the bone in Zamboni.
Yes, they did. They were in let's kick some ice or capture the moment or whatever. And he goes, that's really good. Where'd you get that from? I don't know, but it's really good. And it's right there. Anyways, the evil sister throws a pearl onto the ice, which causes Chaz to break his ankle. And Chaz says that he can't do the iron lows with a busted ankle. So they switch, in which there's no way Jimmy's lifting this man as high as he does.
No, he went on a diet. He lost weight. So they can, before they said nobody can lift your fat ass. But now they can. They train.
Jimmy throws Chaz. He catches him after the lotus, to which he cuts just a sliver of his beard, even that was that close. And they did it. Katie kisses Jimmy, and the evil brother's arrested for shooting the snowflake mascot with a crossbow. Then the creepy siblings start to kiss, which is very weird. Chaz cries happy tears, and the boys get the gold. And as Chaz shows Jimmy his new tattoo of him, next to the lone wolf, they just weirdly Princess Leia themselves up into the sun out of the stadium, and thus ends this movie, which had potential, but ultimately just...
I feel like it hit exactly what it was supposed to hit.
I mean, for the times it was good, but rewatching, yeah, it definitely was not an aging well, because, I mean, first of all, just some of the stuff that Will Ferrell says. His character overall is just like little cringe moments, but
sex addict. He struggles every day. You don't know the struggles that he lives with.
And it's not even that, but like John Heder himself is just physically uncomfortable to look at for some reason in this movie. And I don't know what it is.
That's not on him.
It's not his fault. He's got a face that's just like, oh, I'm tired of looking at him. It just, it was a movie, it was a movie. So, fun facts. They both actually learned how to ice skate for this movie with the help of Michelle Kwan's coach, Sarah Kawahara. Nice. I did it. Yes. At one point, John actually broke his ankle skating, which that sucks. Ouch. Nope, not Will Ferrell. But what other fun facts we got?
The writers claim that Will Ferrell changed most of his dialogue.
That I believe.
Okay with, yeah. John Heder actually spent 2 years in Japan as an LDS missionary and learned fluent Japanese, which is how he was so perfectly able to respond to the Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they just like scanned right over that.
They did. There's like no explanation. He just did that. And I go, oh, it was just like a tongue. I had no idea he actually learned, because it was a very just move along kind of view. Oh, you just assumed from his privileged upbringing that this is how it was.
It's like Bobby in Supernatural. And they're like, Bobby, do you really know Spanish or Japanese? And he like says something to him in Japanese. And like Jim Beaver does know Japanese.
Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. All right. Yeah, so Will Arnett and Amy Poehler play siblings in this. However, at the time they were married, and Will Arnett ends up fumbling the bag, and that's okay, because I feel like he's a tool. But quite a few legit skaters show up in this, including real life skaters who made cameos, including Sasha Cohen, Scott Hamilton, Peggy Fleming, Brian Boitano, Dorothy Hamill, Nancy Kerrigan, Kyoko Ina, Yuka Sato, Jamie Saleh, and David Pelletier. I wouldn't. I kind of figured that they were famous skaters, but I had no idea.
The lady that he licked the face, that Will Ferrell licked her face, that was Lisa Marie Allen, who was a 1980 Olympian and was the assistant skating choreographer on this movie.
Good for her.
I hope she got paid extra to have her face licked.
Hope so too. I don't know. Will Ferrell just does not scream sex appeal, man.
I don't think that's never what he's trying to go for.
I know, but I know, but at the same time, there's something about him that is like, it feels like he smells like old people. I don't really know how to explain it. Like an old person's house, you walk in there and their house smells like just old
Like
people.
mothballs?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind
I
of what he
don't see
smells
that with
like
him.
to me.
I feel like
I
he
don't
probably
know.
smells like sweat
That or
and
it's
maybe
really
a little
cheap
bit of maple
cologne.
syrup. Oh, maybe he smells like Sex Panther.
Maybe he does. I don't listen, by all means, I've not heard bad things about Will Ferrell. So poor Will Ferrell, who's never gonna find or listen to this episode. We're sitting here trashing the poor guy.
I'm not trashing him. You're trashing him.
You got in on it too.
I said he probably smells like sweat and maple
Sweat and
syrup.
maple syrup. Anyways, yeah.
I
Well,
feel like that's what he's going for.
originally Will Ferrell was going to play the part of Jimmy, and Ben Stiller was going to be Chaz Michael Michaels, but then Ben stepped down. However, he did stick around as a producer, and he felt the role was too similar to some of his past stuff. Whoa, calm down there, Ben, because you've literally not played anybody different ever,
I
essentially.
think he thought it would be, my guess was the dodgeball guy.
I don't think either that he would have actually made this movie work.
Yeah, I think it works much better with the two of them. Yeah,
it does. Like Will Ferrell and somebody else, not Ben Stiller, but it doesn't. I could see Owen Wilson and Will Ferrell. That movie would have been perfect if this was Owen Wilson and Will Ferrell. Actually,
I don't know. Maybe
I think
John Heder
does.
did a good job.
Yeah, maybe I just don't like John Heder for some reason.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
like
just
Napoleon
on hate
Dynamite?
mode today. I don't know
I
why.
don't know if you like Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, Napoleon Dynamite? It doesn't do it for me. I'm just wow. Okay, if I want to watch somebody be real awkward and talk about somebody's sleeves, I'll just look in the mirror. Like, I don't know. I'm awkward enough. I don't need this other awkward dude. Like, I don't know.
All right. So our last fun fact, I feel like, is probably pretty obvious. Craig T. Nelson started a show called Coach for years, and in this, he was simply called Coach.
There we go. Craig T. Nelson killed it.
Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, this movie had moments. There were some funny jokes that hit for me, I guess, but overall, it was not as bad as that Semi-Pro. Semi-Pro, I think, is Will Ferrell's worst movie to me.
I think I've only watched that one once.
I
think that was enough.
It is not funny. This one, borderline, but it kind of gets forgotten about because then in 2008, Will Ferrell goes on to do Step Brothers, which is one of the best comedy movies of all time. And this was really at the height of Will Ferrell right here because
between
Elf, Step Brothers, Old
Anchorman.
School, Wedding Crashers is coming up if it hasn't already. Anchorman. Yeah, this was really the early 2000s was dominated by Will Ferrell, and so he was doing a lot of these kind of parts. But for this one in particular, it didn't quite work for me, and I think his shtick was kind of wearing off. And Step Brothers is probably the last movie that really did work for me.
Wasn't he Shaz in Wedding Crashers? I think he might have been.
Mom, the meatloaf.
Yeah,
we want it.
Yeah,
I never know what she's doing back there.
Oh my god, I feel like we see that line in the house
all the time. And there's so many of these movies that you may not like, but you do quote. The early 2000s comedies, man, they don't age particularly well in terms of dialogue and the things that they say. I was watching actually Fast and Furious. I was watching Fast and Furious 1, and there's a scene in the very beginning where Vince calls, Paul Walker's character the F word. And I go, whoa, buddy, we don't use that term. Whoa. So yeah, it just didn't age well, but
that's on Friends earlier. And Chandler says something to a male nurse. He's like, it's kind of a girly job, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean, the nurse puts him in his place. He's like, well, I'm paying to go through medical school. And it didn't seem so girly in the Gulf War. But it's like, come on, Chandler. You're not.
Yeah, dude. Come on. That's why nobody likes you, Chandler. Just kidding. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s, man. And this was the early 2000s. So go check out, this wraps up our Olympic coverage. Next week, we are going to talk about A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That has wrapped up. House of Dragons going to be coming up in a couple months. They released a trailer for that. I'm not quite sure if I'm back on board, but I really did enjoy Night of Seven Kingdoms. So stay tuned for that. And we got some creator interviews out there, go support some really great people. Jesse from Good Days Games, he was on recently. Check that out. He's got a Kickstarter campaign coming up between his board game and comic book that compare to each other. Check out on nerdinitiative.com our comic books pools each week. Lauren's got the nerd news over there, which crushes. I am actually here for her various Lois Lane outfits that she has each week. It's something very Lois Lane newsy each and every week. So I'm just here for the outfit changes because usually I'm the only one with the outfit changes. So thanks for holding up the deal there. So
I started strong and now I have to continue.
Proud of you. Now that's your thing. Sorry. Listen, you're known for something. And it's business attire, apparently, doing nerd news on YouTube. So Where did you see yourself in high school at this time? Was it making YouTube videos like your son says? Well, at least my mom's a YouTuber. Because if so, you're correct.
Oh, yeah. Never thought of this would be what I use all my lawyer clothes for.
Oh, God. At least it's getting put to good use.
There you go.
I don't know. Well, make sure you to subscribe. We will see you guys very soon. And until next time, just figure skate, lose some weight. I don't know, man. Do your thing.
Figure skate, lose some weight.
I don't know, man. It's provocative.